KETV Newswatch 7, chronicling the stories impacting our community. Stories making a difference. Stories that matter to you. This is KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle.
I assume that if my opponent is really sincere about improving our streets, that he will support our plan. But with him, you never know.
For the mayor to literally throw a Hail Mary the week before the election to make it look like she's done something on our crumbling infrastructure, knowing we have the 7th worst streets in the country.
From streets to Omaha's status as a sanctuary city.
Under your administration, we have an existing policy that ensures our police officers do not pull over anyone, do not engage the public in regards to their immigration status. That, Mayor, in the purest sense of the term, makes us a sanctuary city for immigrants regardless of their documentation.
Just because the Omaha Police Department does not stop people on the street to check their legal status, which they are not able to because they don't have access to the federal immigration files, does not mean we are a sanctuary city.
It appears there's not much the two candidates for mayor, Gene Stothert and Heath Mello, agree on. But in 3 days, it will all be over. Good morning, I'm Rob McCarty. This is KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle. And this morning, we're taking a closer look at the upcoming election and just what's at stake. We'll also talk with the Douglas County Election Commissioner about turnout and early voting. First, don't forget, KETV Newswatch 7, along with our radio partner, News Talk 1290 KOIL, will host the final mayoral debate tonight from 6 to 7. And if you won't be near a television, we're going to be streaming it live on KETV.com and our mobile app. This morning, though, we want to dive into a few issues that have surfaced the past several weeks, including everything from the city's dog parks to public safety. And that's where we're going to start with an attack ad that the mayor calls despicable, funded by Omaha Fire Union members and drawing criticism from the fire and police chiefs. Plus, Heath Mello debuted a new ad with a paramedic complaining about response times. As KETV Newswatch 7's Christina Engdahl reports, the ads have similar themes that currently city safety services are stretched too thin.
No cars citywide.
A phrase we've heard a lot this election.
Holding no cars citywide.
Showcased in a new ad funded by Firefighters for a Better Government. Steve LeClaire is union president.
If there's no cars available, then there's no cars available to back up a firefighter. There's no cars available to back up another police officer. There's no cars available to respond to citizens' calls.
Also shown is a regular police presence in the mayor's neighborhood.
I mean, you live in a gated community. If you're that worried about crime, one, you're not doing your job as a mayor, and two, close the gate.
I do think it's rather creepy that the Omaha firefighters had surveillance on my neighborhood, day and night, watching who comes in and out my neighborhood.
I wanted to get a sampling. I wanted to validate what police officers on the street have been calling and telling me, because I didn't believe it.
But Police Chief Tachmatter says the patrol is warranted. This ad, however, he says, is not.
The police department and myself in particular are not taking a position in this mayoral race. We've tried to stay out of it, and I'm tired of the Omaha Police Department being dragged into this mayoral race.
We cannot go in because we're waiting for police.
While Heath Mello says he has no involvement with the previous ad, his campaign did debut this one.
It tears at you because you're sitting there waiting.
A paramedic who says annexation-induced response times slow them down too.
People who are going out risking their lives day in, day out to try to make life better for all of us across the city, and simply saying right now, whatever you're doing, it's not making it easier for us to do this very critical job.
I think it's absolutely despicable that this is happening and that they are criticizing the Omaha Police Department the way they are.
Well, another issue getting a lot of mileage in this race, a possible streetcar system. At one time, both candidates said they support the idea. Stothert added she wanted taxpayers to make the final decision, while Mello said the city needs to fix its roads first before going down that road. Well, what the future holds for the city was the main topic of a forum at the Omaha Community Playhouse, and KETV Newswatch 7's Michelle Bandour was there.
This forum gives the candidates a chance to talk about how they each see the future of Omaha.
Everything that we have done doesn't just prepare us for the next 4 years or the next 10 years, it's preparing us for the next 100 years. And transportation is going to be the key to future sustainability of our city.
The reality is you have to have a mayor who sees the long game, that looks beyond sometimes the short-term politics that drives elections and drives what we do. and to some extent building an Omaha of the future that's more welcoming, more connected, and more innovative needs to have someone who has that 20-year perspective.
Omaha by Design, a nonprofit focused on urban design and policy, hosted the event to see where the candidates stand on preserving the city's rich history while continuing growth and development of new areas.
Since I have been mayor, we have issued over 54,000 building permits at a value of $2.7 billion. And if you think that's not growth or we don't have any vision, I would say you're not paying attention.
Engaging the people who actually live there in regards to maybe what they want to see their neighborhood develop in.
The mayor and her challenger also discussed their immediate plans once in City Hall.
If I'm elected mayor, I will hire a new planning director and a new public works director. I believe that for us as a city to be able to become the Omaha of the future, we need new dynamic leadership in those two departments that truly help guide development and help grow our economy, help deal with our transportation system, and truly help build our city.
Making a statement that you're going to fire the planning director and the public works director as a candidate is a pretty reckless statement to make. I greatly respect both of these gentlemen, and they do a great job for our city.
That was Michelle Bandura reporting. Also a hot topic this campaign, spurring development in North Omaha. North O had a 13% turnout in the primary, well below the city average of 20. So the question, how to get more people to the polls? And each candidate hopes to do that in North Omaha by talking about the future. Once again, here's Christina Engdahl.
Job and business growth has been one of the priorities of my administration.
Looking at industrial development in the north side of the city. Second is looking at workforce readiness.
Jobs and businesses in North Omaha. Challenger Heath Mello unveiled Wednesday he had a plan. Now Mayor Jean Stothert calls it a copycat.
The plan that Senator Mello came out with the other day is pretty much duplicated in the North Omaha Village Revitalization Plan, this large document that was approved by the City Council back in 2011.
Where are we at on that? It's 6 years later. But those are the things that you say are going to plan. Where are we at with the business improvement district?
If you don't know what's been going on in that area, you haven't been paying attention.
But at the attention of hundreds of voters, each candidate makes their case for support.
That's a question a lot of you in the audience who live in North Omaha need to ask yourself. Do you feel that your life has gotten better over the last 4 years? Do you feel your streets have been fixed?
Do I think that we have made a big difference? Yes, I believe we have.
With the ultimate question, how to translate this engagement into turnout.
We're just out there every day making thousands of phone calls and knocking on thousands of doors and telling people they really got to get out to vote.
I think we just got to keep doing what we've been doing, and that's having authentic conversations with voters about their hopes and dreams and what they want to see the city become.
That was Christina Engdahl reporting. Another topic, whether Omaha's dog parks have gone, well, to the dogs, and not in a good way. Once again, here's Michelle Bandura with the Trash Talk.
While the dogs are playing in Hanscom Dog Park, little do the four-legged friends realize they may be playing a role in the mayoral election.
I think it's important to support politicians that are there for the animals.
Animal rights activist Bonnie Price, who founded Nebraska Votes Humane, says Heath Mello is one of those politicians there for the pooches.
That's why we're for Heath Mello, his work in the legislature against puppy mills.
Price is also upset about what she calls filthy dog parks. She says Mayor Jean Stothert has had 4 years to clean them up, pointing to the pictures she took in 2015 and last weekend.
The city can at least pick up the trash.
Thursday, we found some trash at the park's entrance and all the large trash cans empty.
Sometimes they're a little bit fuller than you might like them to be when there's heavy usage, but the inside of the park is really lovely. I would never call it filthy.
Both candidates have canines in the family. Mayor Stothert has Ozzy and Lily. She told us our parks department works to make sure the dog parks are as clean as possible. As a dog lover and owner, it is very important to me. Mabel is part of Mello's family. He responded by touting his legislative work. I voted to crack down on abusive puppy mills. My vision for Omaha's future includes a comprehensive plan to improve maintenance at our parks and green spaces. Some voters and dog lovers in the park think this canine cause shouldn't even be a campaign issue.
With the restaurant tax that Heath Mello said he would now cap instead of eradicating, and the unfunded liabilities for police and fire, I'm sorry. This doesn't rank very high for me.
And none of these guys are registered to vote anyway.
With Michelle Bandura reporting. Now, as the campaign winds down, we're also looking at just how much money both candidates raised. In the past 35 days, Heath Mello raised almost double what Mayor Stothert did, $436,127 compared to Stothert's $268,147. But Stothert has the upper hand on total money collected through April 24th. At last check, she received $2 million in donations compared to Mello's $1.2 million. Now, both candidates also brought in some big-name, nationally known supporters and former presidential candidates. Campaign appearances happened within days of each other. First up, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders for Heath Mello. He flew into Omaha for a Vote Democrat rally at the Baxter Arena on Thursday, April 20th.
Are you ready to elect Heath Mello as your next mayor?
Sanders spoke before an estimated 6,000 people at the arena, and Mello told the crowd he wants to unify the city.
Will they inherit an Omaha that provides hope to the hopelessness and make sure that no matter what zip code you live in, you have a safe neighborhood that provides you living wage jobs, behavioral health care, reliable transportation, and quality affordable housing?
Well, during the rally, Sanders stressed the importance of unity and coming together to transform the country. Well, 4 days later, Mayor Stothert brought in Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker for a re-election rally.
You need a mayor who's not going to be intimidated, who's not going to back down.
And Stothert says Governor Walker is someone she's admired for a long time, and Walker said he respects Stothert's ability to balance a budget and her dedication to standing up for taxpayers when it comes to union contract negotiations. When asked about his interest in this local Omaha election, he says he wants to see another Midwest city succeed and believes Wisconsin and Nebraska share similar values.
We're not trying to nationalize this campaign. We're trying to bring it back home where it belongs.
And the reason that Governor Walker is here, and I'm so pleased that he is here, is he represents the same common sense Midwestern values that I do. You know, if getting control of the state budget, doing things that are for the taxpayers.
Also at this re-election rally, Governor Pete Ricketts and former mayoral candidate Taylor Royal, who is now backing Mayor Stothert. Again, if you want to know where the candidates stand, be sure to catch their final debate before the election. We are hosting it later tonight with our radio partner, News Talk 1290 KOIL. It's right here on KETV News Watch 7, starting at 6 o'clock. It's an hour-long commercial-free debate. And if you're going to be away from a television, you can listen to it on the radio or stream it on KETV or our mobile app. All right, now I want to take a look at the Omaha City Council races. All but one of the 7 districts are contested. In District 1, the incumbent's Pete Festerson. Grant Sturrock actually finished 3rd in the primary and endorsed Festerson, but Sturrock moved on to the ballot when Paul Anderson withdrew after the primary, which Festerson had won with 76% of the vote. In District 2, incumbent Ben Gray. Challenger is Dennis Womack. Gray won the primary with 49% of the vote. That was a field of 7 candidates. District 3, incumbent Chris Jerem is up against challenger Deshaun Cunningham. Cunningham got 10% of the vote. In the primary, there was a field of 5. District 4 is open with the departure of incumbent Gary Gernand. It pits OPS board member Vinnie Palermo against Jim Rogers. Just 1 percentage point separated Palermo and Rogers in the primary. Rich Pauls is unopposed in District 5. In District 6, it's Brinker Harding versus Dwight Peterson. In the primary, Harding received 57% of the vote. And in District 7, incumbent Amy Melton is running against Brian Thomas. In the primary, Melton got 68% of the vote. All right, time to take a short break. Up next, everything you need to know about voting Tuesday and earlier if you can. We're talking with the Douglas County Election Commissioner when KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle continues. You are watching a special commitment 2017 edition of KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle. Welcome back. Joining me now to talk more about Tuesday's general election is Douglas County Election Commissioner Brian Cruz. Good morning. Thanks for being with us, Brian. I know we've talked in the past in other elections. What's your prediction for this one? Turnout.
So I'm thinking about 31%, which is about 87,500 voters to come out. Looks like Bill says it's going to be a beautiful day for us, 82 degrees,
nice.
Sunny, so there's no reason not to get out and vote.
Nice. The weather will not be an issue. 31%, that good, that bad? I mean, obviously like 100% in
Yeah, you know, it's pretty typical for a city election. Unfortunately, it's less than obviously the presidential and the gubernatorial, but it is slightly higher than the last city election.
The primary wasn't very, I mean, that was pretty.
The primary
bitter,
was to a little over 20%,
Right.
which is unfortunately not very good.
How has early voting gone?
Early voting's been going great. By the time Election Day rolls around in just a couple days, about a third of the people who are going to vote on Tuesday will have already voted, either through by mail or in person.
You see that? You see that, the trend where it's going nowadays?
That absolutely is the trend. You know, a lot of people like to do the by mail because they can get their ballot, sit at their kitchen table, study the issues, and vote that way. A lot of people like to come in the office still. And it helps our poll workers and our polling places. It helps ease the pressure on Election Day.
On that one particular day.
Correct,
Yeah.
just on that day.
On that
That's
particular-
right. That's
When
right.
is- so when's the last day you can vote early? I mean, is it, what, Monday?
That's correct. So it'll be tomorrow,
Right.
and our office is open from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, if anybody has a ballot that they've requested early, they have to be returned to one of our drop boxes by 8 p.m. on election night.
So the polls close at 8. When do you expect we'll have final results?
So we should have final unofficial results Tuesday evening. If everything goes as planned, we're thinking 10:30, 11 o'clock, somewhere right in there.
Because the primary was a fairly quick night, if you will, from our standpoint.
Absolutely. We were all done at 10:30, and I was walking out the door a few minutes after that, which didn't hurt my feelings a bit.
Because I know we've talked before about, I mean, like the presidential election,
Oh.
it was a long night. And speaking of, it reminded me in November, there were a couple glitches with the machines, technical glitches.
That's right. We had a couple machines that weren't working up to par in the presidential, and we had them serviced, and we had some technicians working on them. But, you know, I felt like the best thing to do was take them out of service. And, you know, I just never, ever want to forego accuracy for speed. But they worked great in the primary. We're confident they're going to work great in the general. So we should have those results for you before you head off to bed.
Nice. And so where can people find their polling places?
Sure. So you can call our office at 444-VOTE, or you can actually go to our website, votedouglascounty.com. And if you go to the left-hand side of our page, the upper left, it says Find Your Voting Information. Put your information in there. It'll tell you where your polling place is. It'll give you a picture of your polling location. There's actually a PDF of the ballot that you'll be voting on Election Day.
So you can do all your homework at home.
Correct.
Right. Will you be asked anything when you show up at the poll? What will you have to have?
The only thing that you will be asked is your name and your address. Nebraska is not a voter ID state at this time, so you don't have to bring any form of ID.
You think having an election, and this has been brought up before, having an election, a city election, apart from the presidential election, why not combine them?
You know, that's a good question. And I guess the simple and the practical answer is Omaha is a charter city. So the elections are governed by the charter. So I would assume that the charter would have to be changed. Now, from another standpoint, you know, we get 70% turnout historically in the presidential and 50% in the gubernatorial. So if we'd move those, maybe even to the gubernatorial, where the candidates could still have some airtime and get their message out, you know, I think it does make some sense to do that.
And I know people are looking at it, and they're also looking at other things like e-voting. You think we'll ever get there?
You know, maybe someday. I think there's still some security concerns. I think we'll see by mail increase and perhaps by mail elections before we see e-voting. But I think we're headed there eventually.
And then finally, are you concerned about voter fraud? I mean, that always comes up every year.
Sure. No, you know, voter fraud is virtually non-existent. We're constantly doing maintenance on our list. You know, we get lists from HHS, Nebraska Health and Human Services, regarding deceased individuals and mailings and all kinds of things. So, no, voter fraud is virtually non-existent.
Very good. Hey, Brian, thanks very much for joining us this morning, and best of luck on Tuesday.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You bet. Well, we're going to be right back with a few final thoughts. First, though, a reminder, your comments are an important part of the show. In fact, after watching our recent shows with both mayoral candidates, Todd Kowitsky sent us this mail saying, I would like a mayor who sometime in his life held a job that wasn't paid for by a government entity. never worked for a paycheck that did not come from a government body. We need someone with experience outside of government. Jean Long wrote, "Thank you for interviewing Mayor Jean Stothert. It showed her personal side as well as her governing side, the best interview I've seen." And Wendy Meyer felt the same way, writing, "Excellent interview with Mayor Stothert. Thoughtful, straightforward questions." If you want to be heard, email your comments to news@ketv.com. Remember, we love hearing from you. This is KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle. This morning we've been talking about Tuesday's general election. Have a couple reminders for you. We've done 2 different chronicles each with both Mayor Jean Stothert and Heath Mello, and you can watch those online right now on KETV.com. Also, be sure to catch the last debate between the mayoral candidates before the election. We're hosting it right here with our radio partner, News Talk 1290 KOIL. It's in the KETV studios from 6 to 7. And remember, tomorrow's the last day you can vote early. Again, the election is Tuesday. Polls will be open from 8 in the morning to 8 at night, and you'll be voting not only for mayor, but also who will represent you on the city council. And remember, if you missed any part of this show or you want to watch it again, it's online at KETV.com. Just click on the menu button and look for Chronicle. I'm Rob McCarty. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here next Sunday morning for KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle. We want to leave you this morning with a music video showing a day in the life of a photojournalist from KETV News Watch 7's Daniel Grishkowiak and the band The Sweetest Condition playing Secret Edge of the World.
Let me tell you a secret. I've been watching you for quite some time. Why do you hide in the shadows? Do you feel safer when you're hard to find? I've been here so long, waiting for you. Thought you were alone, but you always knew I was right beside you. I've been here so long, waiting for you. Thought you were alone, but you always knew I was right beside you. Hey, can you keep a secret? I've been following you all this time. Why do you run from your shadow? Don't be worried now, 'cause you're all mine. You're mine, you're mine, all mine. I've been here so long, waiting for you. Thought you were alone, but you always knew I was right beside you. I've been here so long, waiting for you. Thought you were alone, but you always knew I was right beside you. Oh, little boy, come out and play. Praying to the light won't save you. I make the rules, time to obey. I get what I want, you can't run away. You can't run